I know, boys. Yeah! Good on you, Dolphins! Good on you, Dolphins! South Sydney! Yes! Yes! Go! Yes! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! 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 Go! Yeah! Yeah! Good on you, Joy! Let's go, boys! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! Yes! G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another NRL video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Cody's Footy World. I hope you guys are doing very well on this very fine Tuesday afternoon. Teamless Tuesday once again. But in today's video as well, I will be giving you my round 5 NRL tips of the 2025 NRL season. Last week was filled with upsets, unexpected results, and quite a few good results from a few teams we didn't expect to win. But gee whiz, last week was a fantastic week, and we've already gone through 1 month of footy as of today. Today is the 1st of April, so we are in now the 2nd month of the 2025 season. Been a crazy month so far, but still got a lot more crazy rounds coming up ahead, especially for the next couple of weeks, which I'm going to be going through for the next few, which I'll get into in the later part of this video. But anyways, guys, if you guys are new around here, you know the drill. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to as well turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out whenever a video gets posted or I go live on YouTube to do a stream or any other type of video. But anyways, guys, before we get into the tip video as well, we're just going to go over last week's games and go through what games we got correct. Now, last week I managed to get 5 out of 8 games correct, so this is the 3rd consecutive week I've gotten 5 out of 8. The first round was 6 out of 8, so 21 out of possible 32 games. Not too bad, but I wish I could be doing better, honestly. But at least we're doing above 4. At least doing a lot better compared to the start of last year, which was terrible. But let's go through each game and let's see what had happened. So we'll start with the Thursday game last week. My boys putting on an unexpected result against the Panthers with no Cleary and no Edwards. Rabbitohs going out 28-0 at halftime before Penrith came back to score 18 unanswered points in the second half. And we didn't score anything in the first half, but at halftime, it was done and dusted. What an excellent win by the boys last week. And if you guys have not seen my vlog from last week, make sure you guys go check it out once you're done watching this video. So, very good start round 4 last week. The Friday games got the Titans correct. And a lot of people saying that I was wrong of tipping the Titans. Well, guess what? I selected the right team. And those people who said that I got wrong, shut up. Titans winning 13 plus against the Roosters, finally destroying that 11-game losing streak against them, 30 points to 12 at Allianz. And in the Battle of Brisbane for the second Friday game, Broncos winning 20 points to 12. Not a good game, but got the job done. And now this is where it gets a bit different here. So the Saturday games, the first one, Dragons beating the Storm for the 2nd time in a row. I think that's the 2nd time they've won 2 in a row against the Storm, but all the way back in 1999. I think that's what it is. Dragons winning 14 points to 8. Very solid defense there from the Dragons, and unexpected to beat the Storm, but there you go. Cowboys beating the Raiders. Cowboys finally getting their first win of the season last week. I tipped them, got that correct. 30 points to 20. And for the Sharks, well, got that one. They were very vulnerable last week against the Bulldogs, losing 20 points to 6. And now the Dogs are the only team undefeated now. Now on to the Sunday games. Manly got that one correct. They won 26 points to 12. And then as for the Tigers-Warriors game, fortunately, Tigers did lose by 2 points. Very good game, but sadly just lost the tip. So 5 out of 8, not too bad for last week. And anyways, let's get into the round 5 tips of the year. And we get into our very first game of round 5, coming from the nation's capital for a rare Thursday night clash. We have the 12th place Canberra Raiders going on against the 10th place Cronulla Sharks. Now, last week, both teams coming off losses. Raiders losing to the Cowboys, leading them to their first win of the year, 30 points to 20. And as for the Sharks, very, very vulnerable and very fatigued against the Bulldogs, losing at home 20 points to 6 last Saturday night. So both teams are looking to get on this to move on this week. Raiders coming off 2 in a row losses after they had a phenomenal start against the Warriors in Vegas. And for the Sharks, when they've been tipped to be one of the best teams of the year, well, 2 wins, 2 losses, and they're outside the 8. That's not good from them. Not good signs. Now, going through the team list for both changes, Morgan Smitty's returns from a concussion. So Josh Papali'i goes into the starting side and Troy Muni drops to the reserves. Now for the Sharks, Marqueen Horati comes into the centres in place of Carrie Iro, who suffered a hamstring, while Thomas Hazelton returns from a back injury onto the bench. Sofia Talakai will miss the game after entering the concussion protocol. So a few touches there for the Sharks last week. Been unfortunate, but we'll see how they'll go this week against the Raiders. Now for a few stats here. The Raiders have won 4 of the past 5 games at GIO Stadium. The Sharks have scored 100 points in the last 3 games against the Raiders. Xavier Savage has scored 5 tries in his past 4 games at GIO. Ronaldo Montola has scored 9 tries in his past 11 games against the Raiders. And Josh Papali'i has scored 5 tries in his past 8 games. So if you want some juicy odds on Raiders try scorer, Josh Papali'i is the one to go for. Now, these two have played a total of 83 games in their history back to 1982. 1 game of difference, Sharks winning 42 and the Raiders winning 41. And in the past 10 games between each other, the Raiders have won 7 of the past 10 games, winning 7 in a row. However, the Sharks have won the last 3 games, dating back to 2023. So the Raiders have not beaten the Raiders. Raiders have not beaten the Sharks since 2023, where they won 24 points to 20, and that was at GIO Stadium as well. And also, Sharks have lost the last 4 out of 5 games at GIO Stadium. Their last win was in their last game against the Raiders, where they pumped the Raiders 40 points to 0. But before 2024, the Sharks' last win in Canberra was back in 2018, where they won 24 points to 16. So the Sharks don't have a really good record at GIO Stadium in recent times. So who am I going to back in this game? This one is a really flip of a coin game, but being back in Canberra, and they're due for another win as well. I reckon Canberra are going to get the win. I reckon Raiders will get the job done and start that 3-game losing streak against the Sharks. So I'll go to Raiders to win by 8. Scoreline will go 24-16. First try scorer, we're gonna go Josh Papali'i. Screw it. He scored 5 tries the past 8 games. And for anytime try scorers, we'll go KO Weeks. And for the Sharks, we will go Britton Nakora to score. Britton Nakora has been really amazing scoring last few tries in the last couple of games against when he's been playing for the Sharks as well. So Raiders will win this one 1-12. Alrighty, now we move on to our first of 2 Friday night games. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. from CommBank Stadium. We have the 13th place Penrith Panthers. You heard me correct. 13th place Penrith Panthers going against the 14th place North Queensland Cowboys. The Panthers coming off 3 games in a row, losing 3 games in a row for the first time since 2019. Losing to my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, 28-18, going down 28-0 at halftime. And as for the Cowboys, finally getting their first win of the season against the Raiders up there at QCB Stadium, winning 30 points to 20. Good to see the Cowboys finally get their first win of the season. They were due for their first win, and well-deserved win as well. Now I'll go through the team list for both teams. Nathan Cleary is back on hand after missing last week due to a concussion. Casey McLean comes in for Brian Toto as he's suffered a hamstring injury, while Scott Sorensen has suffered a HIA, which sees Isaiah Papali'i move to the back row and Lindsay Smith comes into the starting side at prop. Matt Heisenuth is the new face on the bench. Now, as for the Cowboys, Peyton has named the same 17 that took down the Raiders. Griffin has been cleared of a hamstring injury. And also, Zach Laybutt is listed among the reserves as he chases his first NRL appearance since round 5 last year. Tom Stuffy, Hawker, Cara Lawton are also listed among the reserves. Now, Cleary is a really massive inclusion for the Panthers. It could change the Panthers this week to get their first win for the first time since Vegas. Technically, Panthers have not won in Australia yet since the season started as well, which is nuts to think about. In the head-to-head between each other, there have been 48 games between the Cowboys and Panthers. Panthers winning 26 and the Cowboys winning 22. In the past 10 games between each other as well, Penrith have won 6 of the last 10, including winning. But on the other hand, the Cowboys have won 3 of the past 5 games against the Panthers. And also the Cowboys have also won their last game against the Panthers, winning 16 points to 6. Now, the only thing that haunts the Cowboys from winning is they have never won at CommBank Stadium. Yep, so the Cowboys have played 3 games at CommBank Stadium since 2020, and they've lost all 3, and they're all to Parramatta as well. So Cowboys are yet to get a win at CommBank Stadium. The Panthers have lost 3 of their past 4 games at CommBank Stadium as well, so this game could really go either way, if I'm being honest. The Cowboys have won 3 of their past 5 against the Panthers. Yes, we know that. Nathan Cleary only requires 14 more points to break the club's all-time scoring record. So he needs to score 14 points to be the top point scorer of the Panthers of all time. And Panthers co-captain Isaiah Yeo will make his 250th NRL appearance. So congratulations to Isaiah Yeo to play his 250th game coming up this week. So this could really spark the Panthers season back on the up, but we'll have to see. But for this game, who am I going to pick? This is another game that could go either way, but I reckon the Panthers, being not the designated home ground, but for the time being, I think they will bounce back. If they lose 4 in a row, that's going to be so funny if that will be the case. But I will back Panthers to win this one. Panthers to win by 6, scoreline 20 points to 14, so a very, really close one. First try scorer, we're going to go Paul Olamonte. And for anytime try scorers, we'll go Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. And for his 250th game, let's go Isaiah Yeo to score in his 250th game. I think it's well deserved that he scores in this game. Panthers to win 1-12. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the game you guys have been waiting for, the main event, the most fiercest rivalry, the most brutal, the oldest and the best rivalry in rugby league in Australia takes place once again for the first of 2 times this year. It is the 7th place South Sydney Rabbitohs against the 15th place Sydney Scumbags, the Sydney Cocks, the Sydney Roosters. We battled out once again from a course game kicking off at 8 p.m. this Friday night. And of course, yours truly is going to be there. But anyways, let's go through both of the teams. Now, last week, the Roosters coming off a third game loss now. They are now 1-3, sitting in the bottom 4. Compared to where they were last year at this point. Losing to the Titans with 10 minutes left to go. They let Titans to score 18 unanswered points, losing 30 points to 12. As for my boys, what a victory last week. What a first half. Rabbitohs winning 28-0 over the Panthers in the first half before going on to win 28-18 against the Panthers. Beating the 4P premiers like that was so great last week. But this week, it's a different hands. And looking from based on last year, we are on the polar opposite ends of where both of these teams were at this point last year. At this point, the Roosters were comfortable in the top 4. And as for the Rabbitohs, we were on the bottom 4 by round 5 last year with only 1 win, 3 losses, or 1 win, 4 losses, and vice versa. But this time, it's polar opposites this time. Now let's go for the team list for both games. or both teams rather. Now we'll go with the Roosters first. I'll make an exception for this time. Connor Watson returns from concussion and bench forward. Sally Forketti are both on deck, so Zach Docker-Clay goes to the bench and Hugo Salavala makes way. Lindsay Collins has been named starter prop, with Spencer Leadney moving to the bench. Nat Butcher takes over at lock as Victor Radley has suffered a cheekbone injury. And as for the Rabbitohs, Jai Gray remains, after much speculation on what's going to be happening, Jai Gray remains and retains the number 1 jersey at fullback, in which we see Latrell Mitchell returning from a hamstring injury he suffered during the preseason, returns for his first game of the year against his old team, and starts in the centres. It'll be the first time in a long time I've seen Latrell start in the centres. Isaiah Tass will remain on the wing, as Alex Johnson has suffered a rib injury, unfortunately, so we don't know when he'll be back. Hopefully it won't be too long. Lachlan Hubner also returns from suspension, that sees Taylor Duncan move to the bench, and Liam LeBlanc returns, will be 18th man. So Lachlan Hubner is back at lock. Probably the strongest squad we have named all so far this year. And yet we're still missing Murray, who's out for the year. And we're missing Campbell Graham as well, and a few other players as well. But this is the strongest side I've seen from the Rabbitohs all year so far. And now let's go for the head-to-head between each other. There have been 233 games against each other. The Rabbitohs winning 120, Roosters 108, and 5 draws thrown in there as well. In the past 10 games between each other, it's been 5 games apiece. However, unfortunately, the Roosters have won the last 4 against us. Our last win against these bastards was back in the 2022 elimination final, in the first week of the finals, where we beat them 30 points to 14, also known as Sin Bin Sunday. 7 sin bins in that game. And of course, there's been a rule change now. There'll be automatic sin bin if there is a high tackle. Sin bin or send off if there is a very high tackle. So, of course, that the NRL comes out with this rule as soon as these two foes play against each other this week. What irony, I guess, and what a coincidence as well. But anyways, obviously, screw these bastards. Rabbitohs 13 plus. Rabbitohs by 16. 32-16. First try scorer in his return game, Latrell Mitchell score against his former club. And for anytime try scorers, we're going to go Jai Gray. And for Roosters, we'll go Sue Wong to score. So, let's go Rabbitohs. We'll be there Friday night, of course. I'm not missing this game whatsoever. Rabbitohs 13 plus. See you there. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, now we move into Super Saturday. The first game kicking off at 3 p.m. from Combank Stadium. Parramatta Eels, who are still currently in 17th and still with 1 or 2 teams without a win. The Parramatta Eels are still without a win in 17th place, playing against the 11th place Sir George Illawarra Dragons. Now, last week, the Eels coming off a loss against Manly, now losing 4 in a row, 26 points to 12. As for the Dragons, putting on a clinic against the Storm, upsetting them for the 2nd time in a row. And I believe since the first time since 1999, they've won 2 in a row against them as well. So, good signs there from the Dragons, and they won 14 points to 8. So, very good results there from the Dragons, even though a bit low, mid to low scoring, but it is what it is. But anyways, it's Clint Gutherson playing against his former club for the first time this year, first of 2 times, and Zach Lomax will be playing against his former club again, as he was at the Dragons at the time as well. But this should be a unique game between each other. Now let's go through the team list for both teams. Dylan Walker, who was released from the Warriors on compassionate grounds, will bring 232 games of experience to the table. Luke Moriarty also joins the bench for his first game of the season, overcoming Achilles injury. So Charlie Gourma drops out. Riley Smith has been named to start at hooker in place of Joey Lussick. Bailey Simonson is named among the reserves. And now for the Dragons, Emma Magula has been suspended for 3 games, which sees Toby Couchman join the starting side in the front row alongside David Clemmer, who plays his 2nd game. And Blake Laurie has been added to the bench. Matt Feagai is the 18th man. The Eels have scored 118 points against the Dragons in their last 3 games, which is really surprising. The Dragons have also lost 4 of their last 5 games at CommBank. Josh Adokar has scored 8 tries in 6 games against the Dragons. Clint Gutherson has scored 4 tries in the last 2 games at CommBank Stadium. And Zach Lomax requires 1 more try for 50 NRL career tries, and I could possibly see that happening on Saturday. Now, these two have played 42 games against each other. Eagles winning 23 and the Dragons winning 17, and there's 2 draws thrown in there as well. And in the past 10 games between each other, the Eels have won 7 of the last 10 against Dragons, winning the last 3 and winning 3 of the last 4. The Dragons' last win against the Eels, and which was their last win at CommBank Stadium against the Eels, was back in 2021, where they won 26 points to 12 against the Eels. And also, just another fact to point out here, this will be the 6th consecutive game these two have played at CommBank against each other, dating back to 2020. So this has been a Eels. So Eels have played, or will be playing 6 home games against the Dragons for the past couple of years. But the Dragons will finally play a home game against the Eels later on in the year when they play against each other in June. But yes, so Dragons have not had a home game against the Eels since 2019, which is crazy to think about. But anyways, getting a bit off track here. Who do I see winning this game? As much as I want to pick Eels, I think that they are very desperate for their first win. But I think showing from what the Dragons have not really lost by much this year, and they won a very good defensive game against the Storm as well. So I'm going to back the Dragons in this one. Dragons to win by 10. I think it's going to be 1-12 as well. Dragons to win 26-16. And first try scorer, we're going to go Clint Gutherson. Anytime try scorers, we'll go Valentine Holmes. And for his 50th career try, and get his first try against his former club, Zach Lomax to score as well. Dragons to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move into our second game of Super Saturday. We have another Queensland derby for the 3rd consecutive week. We have a South Queensland derby this time. We have the 5th place Gold Coast Titans going on against the 16th place Dolphins from Cbus Super Stadium, kicking off at 5:30 p.m. New South Wales time, 4:30 p.m. Queensland time. 4:30 p.m. Queensland time. The Dolphins coming off a loss against the Broncos last week. Losing 20 points to 12 in their 5th incarnation of the Battle of Brisbane. And as for the Titans, snapping that 11-game losing streak and defeating the Roosters 30 points to 12 for their first game at the Brandy Allianz ground as well, which they won that in the last 10 minutes. I don't think Titans were meant to win that, but there you go. And luckily, I got this one correct as well. Now let's go through the team list with both teams. Delman Jolliffe is back after 2 games with a calf injury. And we will see a debut in Junior Kiwis representative Sean Mully. I think that's Mullen or Mully. I think I said that. Joins the bench for his first NRL game debut. So congratulations to the young person. Chris Randall will start at hooker in the absence of Sam Verrills of a hip injury, while Isaac Malawi ankle injury is also sidelined. Prop Josiah Pohulu is listed among the reserves as he nears a return from concussion. As for the Dolphins, one change, Max Pluff moving from the second row to lock to cover for Tom Gilbert, who has been suspended, while Cornier Lemieux returns from an eye socket injury. Sean O'Sullivan is again the 18th man. Now we'll go through the head-to-head between each other. There have been 4 games between each other. Dolphins won the first 3, and the Titans winning their last one, winning 21 points to 14. However, the Titans have not beaten the Dolphins at Cbus yet. They lost both games, 23-21 and 30 points to 14 in the 2 years that they played against each other at Cbus Super Stadium. And now a few stats here as well to look at as well. The Titans have won 4 of their past 6 games at Cbus Superstate. Jermaine Lusako requires one more goal for NRL for 400 NRL goals. Very impressive. Philip Sami has scored 3 tries in his past 3 against the Dolphins, so he's scored 3. So he's scored at least 1 try in his past 3 games against the Dolphins. Dolphins have won both of the games at Cbus, like I said. And the Titans, should they win this one, it will be their best start since 2016. So they will go 2-1. No, sorry, 3-1. Sorry, to start this year, which I tipped the Titans to win the spoon, but still early on in the season. But they've been very impressive to start the season so far. But for this game, I feel like the Dolphins could get their first game, but I'm going to play it safe. And I'm going to go Titans to win this one. 1-12 by 4 points. 18 points to 14 scoreline. And for try scorers, first try scorer, we'll go Philip Sami. And for anytime try scorers, we'll go Bo Thermal. And for the Dolphins, we'll go Jermaine Lusako to score. So Titans to win, 1-12. Alrighty, now we move into our final game of Super Saturday. This time, the game kick-off at 7:35 p.m. New South Wales time. 6:35 p.m. Queensland time. So back-to-back Queensland games, and they're only about an hour apart where they're located as well. We have the 3rd place Brisbane Broncos against the 9th place and familiar territory, the West Tigers. Last week, the Broncos getting their 3rd win of the season, beating the Dolphins 20 points to 12. And as for the Tigers, a very great game against the Warriors. Unfortunately, just losing by 2 points to the Warriors, 26 points to 24 down at Campbelltown last week. Really unfortunate that the Tigers didn't win, but they were very close to winning. But it is what it is, and these two fit battle as they play against each other at Suncorp Stadium. Now let's go for the team list for both teams. For the Broncos first, Jordan Ricky has been suspended, so Braden Piakura moves to the starting side, and Jaden Hunt joins the bench for his first game of the season. Tyson Smithy is the 18th man. For the Tigers, Latu Fanu takes over halfback as Jerome Hughes has been suspended for 1 game for a careless high tackle in the Warriors game last week. Adam Dewey has been named despite suffering a groin strain in the warm-up last week. Jack Burt reverts back to the bench. Teenager Luke Lawley Lee comes in onto the wing for Solomon Fatapa. He drops to the reserves. Oof. Hey, this should be a really good game between the two. All right, in the head-to-head between the two, there have been 33 games. The Broncos winning 23, and the West Tigers have only won 9 games, and 1 draw thrown in there, which was the Tigers' very first game in the comp, or one of the first games, and that was a draw against the Broncos at Campbelltown back in 2000. Now, in the past 10 games between each other, there have been shockingly 5 games apiece against each other, with the Broncos winning the last 2. However, Tigers have won 4 of the last 6 games, winning 4 in a row between 2019 and 2022. And there have been 7 games against each other at Suncorp Stadium, dating back to 2015, the Broncos versus Tigers. And to my shock, the Tigers have won 4 of the last 7 games versus the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium, dating back to 2015. However, the Tigers have not won at Suncorp against the Broncos at Suncorp since 2022. So that is a real interesting stat there. Tigers have had the wood, or I guess they've had more wins over the Broncos at Suncorp in recent times than, but getting a bit off track there, but you guys know what I mean. And a few more stats here as well. The Broncos have scored 80 points in their past 10 games against the Tigers. The Tigers have only won 2 of their past 8 games at Suncorp Stadium. That factors in like Magic Round playing against the Dolphins as well. Katoni Staggs have scored 5 tries in his past 5 games at Suncorp Stadium. Adam Dewey has scored 6 tries in his past 7 at Suncorp. And the Broncos, 118 points is their highest tally point after 4 rounds since 1996. Wowee. That is a really interesting stat there. But for this game, this should be a good game between the two. But for this game, I'm going to back the Broncos to back this one as much as I want to see the Tigers win. Unfortunately, no Jerome Luai, so they're going to be a bit light in the half. So Broncos to win by 8 for this one. Scoreline will go 28 8:20. And for our try scorers, first try scorer, we're going to go to Tigers, actually. We'll go Jerome Bullard to score first, and anytime try scorers, Ben Hunt to score. And we will also go Aparai Coruscant to score for the Tigers. So, Broncos to win, 1-12. And now we move into our final 2 games of round 5. Kicking off, first one from 4 o'clock from 4 Pines Park. We have another incarnation of the Battle of Brookie. We have the second place Manly Sea Eagles going on against the 4th place Melbourne Storm in a top 4 clash for the ages. Last week, Manly coming off a win over the arch rivals, the Eels, winning 26 points to 12. As for the Melbourne, suffering their first loss of the year, a shocking loss to the Dragons, losing 14 points to 8 at Jubilee Stadium last Saturday afternoon in a surprising, shocking contest for them. That was a bit unexpected, and I don't think many people picked the Storm to lose, but there you go. Melbourne suffered their first loss of the season. And now we'll go through the team list for both teams. So Tom Trbojevic has suffered is believed a MCL injury, which sees Lehigh Hopewade slide into the fullback role. And we will also see Clayton Folongo onto the wing. Nathan Brown starts a prop in place of Josh Aliway, who is expected to miss a week with a shoulder injury. Tofala Sipley also joins the bench. Jerome Hughes is listed among the reserves as he returns from a hand injury, so he could be a small chance in this game. Tyro Wishart will call the shots again should Hughes not play this week. Lazarus Valley PU has been added to the bench in place of Mavian Seve as the only chance to decide that lost to the Dragons. So this is going to be such an entertaining game on Sunday. And there have been 45 games between each other, the Storm winning 26 of them, and the Sea Eagles winning 18, and 1 draw thrown in there as well. In the past 10 games between each other, Melbourne have won 7 of the last 10 games, winning 6 in a row between 2019 and 22. However, Manly have won 3 of the last 4 games against the Storm, and also winning 3 of the last 4 games at 4 Pines Park as well. Melbourne's last win at 4 Pines Park was back in 2020, where they won 18 points to 4 against Manly. So, Melbourne have struggled in recent times at 4 Pines Park, but that could change this week as we look forward to the tip. Now, just a few more stats here as well. All right. Jason Saab has scored 6 tries in his past 7 at 4 Pines Park. Eli Katoa has scored 4 tries in his past 5 against the Sea Eagles. Ruben Garrick has scored 56 points in 3 games at 4 Pines Park. So some really good stats there. But for this game, this is another game that can go either way. For this one, I'm going to take the risky, and we're going to go Manly to win this one, 1-12. So we'll go Manly to win by 4. Close game, 20 points to 16. First try scorer, we're going to go... I'm going to go Boldy. Let's go DCE to score the first try. And anytime try scorers, we will go Lehigh Hopewade. And for Storm, we will go Ryan Paffenhauser to score. So Melbourne to win this one, 1-12, in a very close game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be wrapping it up with our final game of round 5. Taking place from Accor Stadium, so there's 2 games at Accor Stadium this weekend, and I think the only time this year as well. We have the first place and the only team still undefeated, the first place Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, against the 8th place Newcastle Knights, who are coming off their first bye of the year as well. The Knights coming off their first bye, and 2 weeks ago they got their first loss of the season, losing to the Titans at Seabus, losing 26 points to 6. As for the Bulldogs, putting on a good defensive game against the Sharks, winning 20 points to 6 at Sharks Stadium last Saturday night. And now the only team still without a loss. How long can they keep this up for? We'll just have to wait and see. Now let's go through the team list for both teams. Still Tupanua certain suspensions, which sees Curtis Moran comes onto the bench. Clacy, outside back. Jacob Carraz is among the reserves as he nears a return from a hip injury. The one change for the Knights, we see Leo Thompson return from an injury, pushing Brody Jones back as 18th man. The Bulldogs have scored 68 points in 2 games against the Knights in 2024. Braden Best has scored 7 tries this past 5 versus the Dogs. The Dogs have also lost the last 3 games at the Call Stadium. Ponga has kicked 26 from 28 attempts in NRL games at the Call Stadium. Interesting. And Kurt Mann will make his 200th NRL appearance. Congratulations to Kurt Mann for his 200th NRL game. There have also been 57 games between each other. Dogs winning 30 and the Knights 26, and there's 1 draw thrown in there as well. And in the past 10 games between each other, there's been 5 games apiece, with the Dogs winning the last 2, both games last year. However, the year before, the Knights won both of them. The first one, which was the Knights' last win at the Call Stadium versus the Dogs, they won 66-0. Yes, 66-0. And it wasn't the first time the Dogs lost 66-0 as well. And then in the following game, they lost 42-6 against the Knights as well at McDonald Jones Stadium. But at least the Dogs have bounced back and won the last 2. That's what the last game, Bulldogs won 32 points to 2. That's really funny. But for this game, Bulldogs will win this one. I think Bulldogs have got no Matt Burton, no Viami Kickout. No problem. They're going to go 5-0 this week. Bulldogs to win 13 plus by 16 points. 30 points to 14 scoreline. And for a first try scorer, we're going to go Blake Wilson. And anytime try scorers, we'll go Dane Gagai. And for the other anytime try scorer, we'll go Jacob Preston to score. So Bulldogs to win 13 plus. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up my round 5 NRL tips of 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out whenever a video gets posted or I go live on YouTube. Anyways, guys, good luck with your tips this week. It's set for the Bloody Bruisers. Bring on you scummy frauds on Friday night. And to every other team, good luck with your tips this week as well. Comment down below of what your tips are for this round as well. Anyways, guys, I'm getting out of here. See you all Friday night, and it should be an entertaining vlog as well. Anyways, guys, see you all in the next one.